Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, I'm genuinely excited because we're arming ourselves with 5 powerful words. Words that, once you really get them, act like master keys, unlocking deeper understanding across all sorts of human experiences. This isn't just about sounding smart, it's really about sharpening your perception, giving you new ways to interpret the intricate tapestry of life itself. We're going beyond just the definitions today to really grasp the nuance, the sheer power these words hold. They become invaluable tools for clearer communication and clearer thought.
And that's exactly it. That's the mission, really. Language isn't just about conveying information, is it? It actively shapes how we understand the world around us. So by diving into these specific terms, we'll see how just one word can capture a whole concept or an emotion or a tricky situation with a precision that just, elevates our ability to analyze and articulate things. Think of it as an upgrade to your mental toolkit. It lets you move beyond simply describing what you see to truly interpreting its deeper meaning.
Okay, let's begin then. Our first word is one that feels especially relevant today in our information-saturated world: veracity. Now, most of us know it means truthfulness, accuracy. But understanding the depth of veracity, what it really demands, is, I think, more critical than ever. It's not just a simple yes-no, correct-incorrect thing.
Right. The key insight here, I think, is that veracity goes way beyond just factual accuracy. It's not only about what is true, but also how that truth was arrived at and presented. When we talk about veracity, we're often implying a kind of transparency in method, a
Right.
willingness to show your work, maybe reveal biases, admit limitations, not just declare something correct. It's about this inherent integrity, a commitment to authenticity in the whole process. Think about it as a simple mistake. That's an inaccuracy. But a lack of veracity, that might suggest something deeper about intent or diligence, or maybe even the ethics behind gathering the info. That's why it's such a cornerstone of trust in, say, scientific claims or journalism or even AI outputs these days.
That's a really powerful distinction, not just the result, but the process and the intention driving it. So what if something is technically correct, factually speaking, but it's deliberately framed to mislead, or it leaves out crucial context? Does that still meet the standard of veracity?
That's a great question, and it gets right to the heart of it. While, yes, technically accurate facts might be presented, if the intent is manipulative through omission or a slanted view, then you could argue the spirit of veracity is violated. It really touches on that difference between being correct and being truthful in the fullest sense. For instance, the example you shared is perfect. The journalist was praised for the veracity of her reporting. That praise isn't just because she got her facts right. It's for her commitment to the full, maybe unvarnished truth, even if it was inconvenient. It implies meticulous research, verified sources, balanced presentation. She upheld the highest standard. And it makes you think, doesn't it? Where in your own life do you demand this kind of deep veracity? Or maybe feel its absence in the news you read? Professional advice, promises from leaders, it's fundamental to trust.
Okay, so veracity lays that foundation of reliable information, of trust. But sometimes, even with the best intentions and accurate data, we end up in situations where the way forward is just murky. The ground feels unstable. And that leads us perfectly to our next word, one that really captures that feeling of being stuck: quagmire. It means basically a difficult, complex, or even dangerous situation.
Yeah, and the beauty of Quagmire is its metaphorical power. It immediately brings to mind being stuck in soft, boggy ground, right? It's not just a problem or even a set of problems. It's a situation that feels like it's actively pulling you down, where every move you make to get out just seems to sink you deeper. It describes scenarios tangled up in interconnected issues, often with no obvious way out. Makes a simple fix feel impossible. It really conveys that visceral sense of entrapment, feeling totally bogged down by complexity. It takes huge effort, maybe even rethinking your whole approach to get free.
That imagery really hits home. You feel the weight of it. It's not just hard, it's sticky, messy, like quicksand almost. You mentioned it's not just a problem, but a situation where steps sink you deeper. Are there early warning signs? Or do you only realize you're in a quagmire when it's too late?
Often, yeah, it can start subtly. Little issues that seem manageable on their own. But if they're not addressed, they combine, they compound, and suddenly you're facing something much more intractable. Like a single bad investment might seem okay initially, but then it drains capital, you defer maintenance, that hits efficiency, then customer satisfaction plummets. Suddenly, it's not one bad decision. It's this complex, tangled web of failures. The example you shared illustrates it clearly. The company found itself in a financial quagmire after poor investments.
Yeah.
This isn't just financial trouble. It implies a situation so entangled, so self-reinforcing in its negativity, that a simple fix is just off the table. It points to a systemic breakdown. Think about times, maybe personally or professionally, where you felt similarly bogged down. A project spiraling out of control. A conflict where every attempt at resolution just digs up more issues.
Hmm. That feeling of spiraling complexity is definitely relatable. And sometimes these complex situations, these quagmires, they can really fuel intense, even destructive interactions between people. So moving from the bogged down to the bitter, our next word is acrimonious. This word means bitter and angry in tone or manner. It's a very specific way to describe a damaging kind of anger.
Exactly. Acrimonious digs deep into the emotional heat of a conflict. It's not just disagreement. It describes interactions soaked in this deep-seated bitterness, resentment that just colors every word, every gesture. It suggests a hostility often rooted in old grievances or fundamental divides, making any kind of constructive talk incredibly difficult, maybe impossible. This isn't just a quick flare-up, it's when the animosity itself takes over, driving the interaction, often escalating things instead of solving them. It can poison anything, from a meeting to a public debate.
It's almost like the anger itself becomes the point, not finding a solution. So what separates a really heated debate from one that turns acrimonious? Is it just the tone, or are there other signs?
That's a really good distinction to make. A heated debate can still be productive, right? You can argue passionately about ideas, facts. But when it turns acrimonious, the focus often shifts. It moves from the subject to personal attacks, maybe veiled insults, or a deliberate effort to undermine the person rather than their argument. Look at the example. The debate grew acrimonious as both sides refused to compromise. This tells you they weren't just debating ideas anymore. They were operating from personal animosity, deep opposition. Positions harden, compromise becomes impossible, and the tone itself is destructive. It leaves scars, not just on the issue, but on the relationships. Creates rifts that are incredibly hard to mend. It makes you reflect, doesn't it, on times you've seen or maybe even experienced that kind of tone where bitterness just swamps any attempt at resolution and really damages the human connection.
Yeah, the emotional weight of acrimonious is heavy and often, like you said, destructive.
Yeah.
But let's pivot completely now to something much more positive, a really admirable human quality, with our fourth word, magnanimous. This describes someone who is generous and forgiving, especially toward a rival or less powerful person. It paints a picture of, well, exceptional character.
It really does. What makes Magnanimous so special is that it's not just about generosity. It's a generosity that comes from profound strength and self-control. It highlights those admirable qualities needed to show grace, especially when you've won, or you're clearly in a position of power. It takes remarkable inner security, doesn't it, to offer forgiveness or generosity when you could easily be petty or gloat or punish. It's an act that goes beyond that basic urge for dominance or revenge. It signals a leader who is secure enough that they don't need to diminish others, and actually it often disarms future hostility, creates a path for respect, even from rivals. It's sort of a long-game strategy in human relations.
That's a beautiful way to put it, strength born from self-control. There's a kind of wisdom in it, too. Can you elaborate maybe on situations where it's especially hard, but maybe most impactful, to be magnanimous, outside the obvious? What about in, say, business?
Absolutely. It's most powerful precisely when it's hardest. Imagine a business rival who's fought you aggressively for years. Then they face a major setback. A magnanimous response isn't celebrating their misfortune. It's maybe offering fair, if firm, support, or just quietly choosing not to exploit their vulnerability. The example you shared captures this perfectly. Despite the heated match, the champion was magnanimous in victory. A heated match implies intense competition, high stakes, strong feelings, yet the champion, instead of gloating, chooses magnanimity. This might mean acknowledging the rival's skill, offering real congratulations, or downplaying their own win to honor the effort involved. That kind of behavior fundamentally changes the atmosphere, the future interactions. It fosters respect where bitterness could have grown. It's true leadership, true character. It can turn a rivalry into something, well, at least respectful. Makes you think, where have you seen or maybe had the chance to be that kind of graceful?
A truly inspiring word, definitely. Okay, so from the nobility of magnanimity, let's shift our focus one last time. In the captivating pool of the unknown, with our final word, enigmatic. This means mysterious and difficult to understand. But it's more than just confusing. It's captivatingly confusing. It draws you in.
Exactly. And what's so fascinating about something enigmatic is that its very elusiveness is part of its charm. It's not just that it's hard to figure out, it's that this difficulty itself pulls us in, sparks this almost insatiable curiosity. Humans seem naturally drawn to mystery, don't we? To the unknown, to puzzles that resist easy answers. An enigmatic person or artwork or phenomenon, it invites endless interpretation, endless thought. It demands our engagement, pushing us to look for deeper meaning, even if it stays just out of reach. It fuels wonder, intellectual searching.
Like a magnet for thought, isn't it? Something you keep coming back to, trying to unlock. We often hear it about art, like the Mona Lisa. But what about in more, say, modern context? Can technology or even a cultural trend be enigmatic?
Oh, certainly. Think about complex algorithms, maybe, or how certain cultural trends explode sometimes, their ultimate impact, or the real forces driving them remain enigmatic for a while. It compels experts, observers, everyone to keep analyzing, keep interpreting them. The classic example you noted is perfect, though. The Mona Lisa's enigmatic smile has fascinated art lovers for centuries. Her smile isn't just hard to read, it's compellingly so. Despite centuries of intense scrutiny, analysis, debate, that subtle expression remains elusive. Is she happy? Sad? A trick of the light? Something else entirely. The very fact that it defies one simple explanation is what gives it that enduring power. It keeps drawing millions, keeps us thinking, searching. It really shows how something doesn't need a definite answer to hold profound meaning. What other enigmatic figures or artworks, or even just everyday situations in your life defy easy explanation and keep pulling you back into their mystery?
Wow, what a fantastic journey through these 5 words. We've really explored the subtle yet profound ways they help us see and talk about the world. We dug into veracity, understanding its deep commitment to truth and integrity. We navigated the sticky, complex mess of a quagmire, seeing how situations can truly trap us. We felt the sharp, bitter edge of the acrimonious tone in conflict. Then we admire the profound grace of being magnanimous, that strength of character that elevates everyone. And finally, we embrace the captivating mystery of the enigmatic, realizing the power of the unexplained to make us think. This deep dive really hammers home that these words aren't just fancy vocabulary, are they? They're precision tools for getting a clearer, more nuanced view of the world, helping you not just describe things, but really interpret their complexities and express yourself with greater accuracy and impact.
And that leads to a final thought, perhaps. If we accept that our language genuinely shapes our perception, well, what new understanding might you unlock by consciously bringing these advanced words into how you think and communicate? How might using them allow you to not just describe, but truly interpret the complexities you encounter every day? How might these words change the way you see and engage with your world?
A brilliant thought to leave you with. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll catch you next time.